Coming back to further speaker, now let us invite Dr. Ghanshyam Biswas. And he's there?
Yeah, he's there.
Yes, yes.
Ghanshyam is there. So, welcome Dr. Ghanshyam. And he's going to talk on beyond 5 years of hormone treatment, adjuvant hormone treatment.
So Ghanshyam is a dear friend. Ghanshyam is a dear friend, and he is an eminent and senior medical oncologist from Bhubaneswar. We have enjoyed his hospitality a number of times in his beautiful city, and I hope to connect once again with him once the curbs are lifted. Welcome, Ghanshyam.
Thank you, Chirag sir. Thank you, Salim sir, and thank you, Abhishek, for the opportunity. So in next 15-20 minutes, so I'll touch upon beyond 5 years of adjuvant hormone therapy. So is more the better. So if you see this cartoon, so on the first hand, so diagnosis and primary surgery. The second is a 0 to 5 years of endocrine therapy, and the food for thought for distant recurrence beyond 5 years. So if you see a early ER positive breast cancer, so 40% will have a micrometastasis. So 60% upfront they are cured. So what happens to these 40% who have a micrometastasis? So one group will have no response, so they are primary resistance. So they are going to fail early. So there will be some patients who have a partial response. And today we know that even hormone positive diseases they are so heterogeneous. So the patients who had a partial response, so slowly they will acquire resistance. And the other group, even with the micrometastasis, they will have a complete response and they are cured. So this brings to that some patients in each group will have a dormant disease, so which is going to come back within next few years. So the hot news is that, so in this pandemic, few months back, the NEJM editorial extended aromatase inhibitors in hormone receptor positive breast cancer. So by Pamela Godwin. So she referred that even at 20 years of diagnosis of a breast cancer, which was looking like an innocent disease, so might come back in a furious way. So probably there is a food for thought that there are patients who will benefit with an extended therapy. So probably there are patients who have been exposed to tamoxifen in the past. So this got published in the July 2021 in NEJM. In the same month, we have seen this article. So duration of adjuvant aromatase inhibitor therapy in a postmenopausal breast cancers. So patient has already received 5 years of treatment. So now either you extend the therapy for another 2 years versus, so this was anastrozole, or 5 years. So the primary endpoint was disease-free survival. Now you see that disease-free survival, so the curves are bang on for 5+2 and for 5+5. So they are almost same with a hazard ratio almost touching unity. So now look at the risk of bone fractures. So the hazard ratio for those who received 5+5 versus 5+2. So hazard ratio for bone fracture was 1.35. So on the right hand side, you can see from the Helio, so hazard ratio of 0.99 in regards to DFS and bone fracture, which was significant. So extended adjuvant endocrine therapy fails to improve outcome. And if you see the conclusion of this NEJM article, so postmenopausal women with hormone receptor positive breast cancer at average risk do not benefit from extending adjuvant aromatase inhibitor therapy beyond a total of 7 years. So if you want to extend, so from this article, so beyond 7 years is not going to help you. So you'll land up with more of bone diseases. The limitations and the remaining questions, because we used anastrozole here. So whether things would have changed if we would have used a steroidal drug like exemestane or letrozole, and whether risk stratifying the patient would have made it a positive trial. So like a low risk or intermediate risk or a high risk in regards to HR positive breast cancer. So the food for thought again comes from tamoxifen in the past, historical. So whether to give tamoxifen 1 year, 2 years, or 5 years. So how 5 years came into picture. So you can see on the extreme left, 1 year So you can see the delta was only 8% in regards to a reduction of recurrences. So with 2 years, 8.8, and with 5 years, the risk of recurrence is almost going down by 14.2%, and this was more than 10,000 patients. So the benefits of tamoxifen for 5 years saw not only a reduction in the recurrence, but also the breast cancer mortality. You can see, so at 5 years. But with 10 years and 15 years, so in recurrences also, so it has gone up, and so as the breast cancer mortality also has gone up beyond 5 years. So 20 years risk of breast cancer recurrences after stopping endocrine therapy at 5 years. So the early breast ALICE group, so again, the NEJM 2017. So the effect of additive T plus N. So you can see on this graph, so you can late recurrences are seen in HR positive breast cancer, even at 20 years also. 50% of the recurrence occurs after completion of 5 years of endocrine therapy. So you can see, so even with the T1N0, so we can in the next slide, you can see, so with the T1A and T1B, so there is still a difference. So as we move with the T and as we move with the N, so the distant recurrences also goes up beyond 5 years. So even in the early stage disease, as I said, so T1C versus T1A and B, so even after 5 years of tamoxifen, the 10% risk and from years 5 to 20. So the breast cancer and extended endocrine therapies. So on the left-hand side, so 248 articles were looked into the database for the keywords breast cancer and extended endocrine therapy. And the deadline was December 2017. So when analyzed, so out of 248, 171 unrelated articles were excluded. And we know that when you start preparing slides, so you get into such things. So out of 171, again, 77 full articles were screened. And out of, again, 65 articles were excluded because they were not meeting the criteria. So ultimately, 12 articles were included in the quantitative analysis, so meta-analysis, which got later published in the BMJ in 2018. So you can see there are 12 articles, 12 trials. So starting from E418 to the ideal. So most of this initially had a tamoxifen for 5 years, and later on there are trials where aromatase inhibitors. On the right-hand side, you can see the common characteristics of these studies. So most of them, as I said, they had initial exposure of tamoxifen, and most of these were postmenopausal. Few had included premenopausal also. There were most of these patients were lymph node positive. There were few trials with lymph nodes negative, and every trial. So all these 12 trials which were digged out from the database actually looked at a disease-free survival. So coming to the left-hand side, so PFS, 10 years endocrine therapy versus 5 years. So you can see, so they look like some of these trials had some benefit. On a 10 years endocrine therapy versus 5 years of OS, so absolutely there was no benefit in regards to OS. So if at all there was benefit in the few of these trials, so that was MS17, where there was a benefit in the PFS. On the left-hand side, again, in regards to lymph node, so 10 years versus 5 years. So again, so one of these trials showed some advantage, and the rest of these actually did not show any benefit. In postmenopausal, again, so only MS17R showed some benefit, and in regards to more than 8 versus less than 8, only in regards to PFS, so the ABCG CA 6A had benefit. In regards to ER positive and or PR positive, again you can see, so MS17 and NSEBP B33, which showed some advantage in PFS in 10 years versus 5 years. So the adjuvant trials, the extended adjuvant trials, or in fact the adjuvant trials were designed in 4 categories. So number 1 was initial adjuvant therapy, so randomization from the beginning. The second was initial and sequencing treatment. The third one was the switching trials, and fourth was the extended adjuvant trials. So of late, we are seeing most of these patients are into an extended adjuvant trials. On the right-hand side, again, there are 4 groups. Studies of tamoxifen after 5 years of tamoxifen. So this was ATLAS and ATOM. Studies of AI after 5 years of tamoxifen. So this was MA17, NACBP, and the ABCG-SG. The third group was a study of extended AI after 5 years of therapy that included AI and tamoxifen. So that was data, that was NACBP B42 and the MA17R. So these are the newer trials. So studies of optimal duration or dosing in 5 to 10 years, or the BOOG, the IDEAL, the ABCG16, and the SOL trial. So if you see the adjuvant trials of we are looking in the tamoxifen group. The initial trials were the ECOG, Scottish, and the NACBP. So which are almost all negative trials, except the ECOG, which showed a decrease in the recurrence rate. So favored tamoxifen as compared to the control group. The newer trials in this group of extended tamoxifen were ATLAS and ATOM, which showed, you can see, so they showed a benefit in the recurrence rate. In the ATLAS, you can see a p-value of 0.002, and in the ATOM, again, 0.003. And these are the trials in even the meta-analysis. So they showed that, so the recurrence rate and the breast cancer mortality. So these were the 2 endpoints that got benefited. So that was a recurrence rate and the breast cancer mortality. So extended tamoxifen trial, the ATLAS and ATOM, you can see on the left-hand side, the overall recurrence rate. So the delta was 3.7%. And overall, again, on the right-hand side, you can see so 2.8. So that showed that extended adjuvant tamoxifen for more than 10 years provides further protection against recurrence and breast cancer mortality. But surprisingly, the benefit was not seen in the 5 to 9 years. But that comes with toxicities. So as Dr. Chirag was saying, so continuing tamoxifen beyond 5 years. So you can see the second cancer incidence increased. So the contralateral breast cancer, you can see, and sorry, endometrial cancer was 116 versus 63, so which was significant. So endometrial, we know that, so there is a 2.5% risk while these patients are on tamoxifen. And with 10 years, you can see, so 116 versus 63. Coming to non-neoplastic disease, the stroke, incidence of stroke, the incidence of pulmonary embolism, ischemic heart disease also increased substantially as compared 5 years of tamoxifen versus 10 years of tamoxifen. So moving from tamoxifen to now, so AIs post tamoxifen. So these were MA17, the NACBP B33, and ABCG6A. See, in all these trials, you can see, so the disease-free survival improvement was there. So none of these actually had a improvement in the OS. So everybody improved with the recurrence-free and a disease-free survival. So these are on the right-hand side, you can see certain newer trials and ongoing trial. So MA17, we can see the absolute benefit in DFS, which was the primary endpoint, was 4%. So which was not reflected in the OS. So MA17R, which probably is the only trial which showed a survival benefit. So you can see a disease-free survival. So in the 95 versus 91, so a hazard ratio of 0.66. So the events here, new contralateral breast cancers. So 1.4% in the letrozole group, that is extended AI versus placebo 3.1. So significant difference. Local regional recurrences, so distant recurrences again, so 42, which was much less as compared to placebo, and the bone recurrences are also less. So this MA17R becomes the first study to demonstrate benefit of extending AI treatment beyond 5 years. So letrozole treatment for 10 years decreases risk of disease recurrence by 34% with a hazard ratio of 0.66. So majority of this benefit is in reduction of a contralateral breast cancer. So we have to keep this in mind. So the decision points. So once we are dealing with the breast cancer, so once you re-stratify them, so now, so initial diagnosis, 2 to 3 years of time. So this will be the paths. This will be the the time frame. So when you are going to look at changing or extending your therapies. So looking at the initial diagnosis, so these were the trial mentioned here. So looking at 2 to 3 years after tamoxifen. So this was the breast cancer international group. And after 5 years, this was NACBP 42. And there are now trials looking after 10 years, even after failures. So probably this is the only trial, as I said, so MA17R, so which showed an advantage, that too in a contralateral breast cancers. So that is the only trial which is looking at this moment more than 10 years. So as my previous colleagues have already elaborated, so potential marker test for late recurrence, so that can be a clinical treatment score. So the ISC4, the Oncotype DX, we can go for the Indian Can Assist, Prosigna, Breast Cancer Index, and this EndoPredict. So once you categorize your patient into premenopausal versus postmenopausal, so premenopausal, low risk, tamoxifen 5 years, high risk, you go for an ovarian suppression, and then you can straight away start with AI or tamoxifen for 5 years. In the postmenopausal, there can be a group who had a very bad bone health, cannot tolerate AI, so they are candidate for tamoxifen, or usual patients in the postmenopausal are AI 5 years, or you can have a switch from tamoxifen 2 to 3 years and complete AI for 5 years. And certain patients, so which we know that, so big tumors, high nodal disease, so these are the patients where you will require extended therapy with 5 additional years of either tamoxifen or aromatase inhibitors. So ESMO guidelines, so tamoxifen for 5 to 10 years, a role of replacing tamoxifen with an AI can be considered in a high-risk patients. That was for a premenopausal. For postmenopausal women, so you usually start with an aromatase inhibitors. It can be extended adjuvant therapy after 5 years of tamoxifen. So there is only a minimal benefit of the use of AIs for more than 5 years. We have seen only MA17R. So this is from the ASCO. There are recommendations. So women with low risk node negative tumors should not be offered extended therapy. Second, women with node positive breast cancer should be offered extended AI therapy for up to 10 years of adjuvant can be considered between where the risk and the efficacy. Third is women who receive extended adjuvant endocrinology should receive no more than 10 years of total treatment. Extended therapy carries ongoing risk and side effects. We have seen from all the trials that are published. So to date, none of these studies have shown improvement in overall survival with the longer durations. So to conclude, women with early breast cancer who receive standard endocrine therapy for 5 years remain at risk for distant recurrence even at 15 to 20 years after treatment discontinuation. ER-positive breast cancer is at least as likely to recur beyond 5 years as it is before 5 years from treatment. Extended endocrine therapy is likely to improve survival in a subgroup of patients with ER-positive. All women should be evaluated for their likely risk of recurrence at the completion of 5 years of endocrine therapy. So clinical and genomic expressions are models are getting importance, and with the Indian house coming up with, so that becomes at least affordable to some patients. So the dormancy of ER-positive breast cancer occurs through a multitude of mechanisms. So micrometastasis is always there for a group of patients. So monitoring of MRD, like many other liquid tumors, so that it has gain importance probably in future. And individualized patient-centric approach should be taken into considerations. Extended hormone therapy is beneficial, but to a very small extent and to a small subset of patients, more useful when the initial therapy is tamoxifen, node positive and larger tumors. So risk of complication is low, but that's real. So selection at times is difficult. So which patients has to be offered extended therapy or not. Thank you so much for a patient hearing.
Please unmute yourself.
You're muted.
Oh, sorry. Thank you, Dr. Ghanshyam, for nicely covering the topic. I'm sure most of the questions is answered, but covered. But Chirag, if there are any questions, comments.
No, I'm fine. I think the question I had is whether CTC at the end of 5 years is useful, and he alluded to that. I mean, yeah, it's a good concept, but still more data is required. So no further question from my side. Thanks, Ghanshyam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.